Hi everyone, it's Nicole and this is layout number 7 out of 42 that I got completed at my crop that I went to back in October. I had brought 48 page kits with me and I ended up completing 42 pages out of those. And a lot of my page kits, or most of them I think, were put together just using scraps. And what I love about that, and as you can see with this layout here, is I kind of take the leftovers and I start just placing them on the layout. I had a fairly big grid paper and I'm going to end up using that, and I had a few scraps, and I love this pink and white stripe, and I didn't have a big piece of that, so I'm going to end up cutting it in half and putting it at the top and the bottom of my photo cluster. And then I had this piece of pattern paper that was from Doodlebug. I think this is like year 2000 or 2002, so super old pattern paper that it's awesome that I'm able to use. Then I also had this strip. This was a leftover too. It was from a pattern paper and I had cut it apart for another layout and I didn't end up using it, but I'm going to use it on this layout. And you can tell I kind of take the leftovers and kind of switch them back and forth to see how I like them laying on the layout. But I decide to go with my original way that I wanted to do it. And I find that a lot. The first thing that comes to mind, so basically that my gut tells me, is usually the way that I should go, because I try to, move it around and it never works. So just go with your gut. Now, this is a picture of Mason and my husband and my stepdad, and we were at this campground. This was actually from 2020, and this was probably one of the only pictures that I didn't scrap from this year, like 2021. But for some reason, this reminded me of them playing basketball at the campground. And I think it said that banner that says play all day, which I don't even know if I ended up using on this layout or not. It wasn't that long ago that I made these pages, and I don't know if it's because I made so many in a weekend, but when I do the voiceover for these pages, I don't remember what I did for each pages, and I think it's because it's just basically a blur for me right now. And if you've never tried putting page kits together, I would give it a whirl when you go to a crop and even in your scrap room, because everything is kind of pre-chosen. You've kind of made the decision another day. It kind of sat there for a while. It's kind of resting. And then when you pick it up again, it's like, hey, it's like a new inspiration. But not only that, you've kind of done a lot of the work ahead of time. And nowadays, I do quite a bit of layouts per month. Like I, crank out quite a few pages per month. But I remember a time that the only time that I really put a lot of pages together was when I went to crops. And if that's the case for you, how awesome it would be that, instead of, it's still great no matter how many pages you put together, right? Because a lot of the thing about going away for a crop is not only scrapbooking, it's the camaraderie that you have with the other people at the crop, and it's, sleeping in a hotel, being away from home, and it's kind of the whole experience, which I totally love. But for me, This was a work weekend, and even though I had tons of fun, I ended up getting a bunch of layouts done. It was still a work weekend for me, but that doesn't mean that I didn't have fun at the weekend. But the fact that I was prepared, then it made it so that I was able to chat because my journaling was done. I cannot chat and do my journaling. I can do a lot of multitasking in my time at 911. Believe me, we did a lot of multitasking stuff. So I'm pretty good at multitasking. But actually writing something about what's going on and chatting, I can't do it. So by having my journaling done ahead of time, it made it possible. Probably 90% of the time, I probably wasn't even chatting while I was doing the journaling anyway. But the fact that the journaling was done ahead of time helped me. And more than just not having to, it's not my favorite part. The journaling part is definitely not my favorite part. I get that it's an important part because you kind of, talk about what's going on that day, and especially like little quirky things and kind of fun things that you can jot down and maybe you might not remember, but it's not my favorite thing. Okay, so I kind of skipped ahead to the end of the journaling. And that kind of reminds me, I didn't tell you how long it took me to get this layout done. This layout took me 19 minutes. 19 minutes, and this is layout number 7, so you can tell that I'm starting to pick up the speed. So again, just to recap, the first day I did 14 layouts. The second day, 17 layouts. So that's what? 21 layouts? No, 31 layouts. 31 layouts between the first 2 days. And the last day, which was a very short day, I ended up doing 11 layouts. Okay, so I have my title already, and these are some of our tiny typewriter type letters, I think it is. If not, it's the feeling good letters, and I just cut them down. I put them on some wax paper. Because I did my title about a week before I went on my crop, I didn't worry about my stickers sticking to the wax paper. But I wouldn't suggest doing that a long time before you go on your crop because they will stick to the wax paper. So I think I just put "Let's Play Basketball." That's my title. Now, while I'm finishing that off and putting the last finishing touches, I just want to mention that I am having a virtual crop, which is going to be the weekend of November 27th and 28th, where we're going to do 12 layouts. We were, for a while, doing 10 layouts, and the girls were like, please, can we do 12? It goes by too quickly. So, yes, we're going to do 12. So for $10, we're going to do 12 layouts in a span of 12 hours, and we're going to have 12 challenges and a whole bunch of fun. I have prizes all weekend where I give away some free digital files. And if you're interested, the link is in the description box below. Just go to NicoleJones911.com and look for Virtual Crop 2021, November 2021. And that's it. That's going to complete this layout, and stay tuned for some pictures. And if you're new to my channel, don't forget to hit subscribe if you're enjoying these videos. If you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up and leave me a comment down below. And I want to thank you so much for watching. Bye.